Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope we're doing great today. Happy Sunday. We've got 16 matchups on this MLB slate today, so be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my betting links in the description below to get in on the action. Go ahead and turn on those notification bells. And yeah, we'll hop in it here. Busy slate today as we close out the weekend, starting with the New York Yankees versus the Cincinnati Reds. Yankees opening up as road favorites at minus 155. The Reds plus 130 with the over-under at 9. Yankees coming into this matchup 28-20. The Reds 19-26. Pitching for the Yankees is Luis Severino with an ERA of 0. Pitching for the Reds is Hunter Green with an ERA of 4.60. Looks like Severino is getting his first start here for the Yankees. And then Green has had some rough starts on the mound. His last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 6 runs, had 8 strikeouts. He's given up 13 runs in his last 3 starts. Yankees beating the Reds yesterday 7-4. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Reds on a 3-game losing streak right now. Yankees 6-2 on the road against Cincinnati, and I think I'm going to roll with the Yankees on the road. Next matchup, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Arizona opening up as road favorites at minus 125. The Pirates plus 105 with the over-under at 8.5. Arizona coming into this matchup 26-20. The Pirates 24-21. Pitching for Arizona is Merrill Kelly with an ERA of 3.27. Pitching for the Pirates is Roansy Contreras with an ERA of 4.40. Kelly, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run, had 9 strikeouts. Contreras, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 1 strikeout. Arizona coming off a Pitt win yesterday, 4-3, a nice win for them. 13-5 on the road against Pittsburgh, 4-2 straight up against Pittsburgh here. I do like Kelly on the mound. He's been very good. Contreras has given up 11 runs in his last 3 starts here, and I think I'm going to roll with the Diamondbacks on the road. Next matchup, we got the Chicago Cubs versus the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies opening up as home favorites at minus 110. The Cubs plus 100 with the over-under at 9. Cubs coming into this matchup 20-25. The Phillies 21-24. Cubs coming into this, or pitching for the Cubs is Justin Steele with an ERA of 2.44. Pitching for the Phillies is Taijuan Walker with an ERA of 6.53. Steele, his last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 8 strikeouts. Walker, his last start, he pitched 1 inning, gave up 4 runs, had 1 strikeout. The Cubs, a bad loss yesterday for the Cubs, losing 12-3. Phillies, that was their first win in a while, ending their 5-game losing streak here. Cubs are still 7-1 against Philly, 4-1 on the road against Philly here, and I like taking teams coming off a bad loss here. I like them to bounce back. Justin Steele's been all right on the mound, coming off a rough start on the mound, but Walker hasn't been that amazing. I think I'm going to take a shot with the Cubs plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Detroit Tigers versus the Washington Nationals. Washington opening up as home favorites at minus 130. Detroit plus 120 with the over-under at 8.5. Detroit coming into this matchup 20-23. The Nationals 19-27. Pitching for the Tigers is Joey Wentz with an ERA of 6.38. Pitching for the Nationals is Josiah Gray with an ERA of 2.73. Wentz, his last start, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 3 strikeouts. Gray, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run, had 5 strikeouts. Detroit coming off a Washington loss yesterday, losing 5-2. Nice win for Washington. Kind of just a flip-flop series. Both teams stealing a win here. Gray's been pretty good on the mound for the Nationals here. Wentz hasn't been the greatest on the mound, but I don't know. I still think I'd take a shot with Detroit plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Seattle Mariners versus the Atlanta Braves. Braves opening up as home favorites at minus 115. Seattle minus 105 with the over-under at 9.5. Mariners coming into this matchup 22-23. The Braves 28-17. Pitching for Seattle is George Kirby with an ERA of 2.45. Pitching for the Braves is Jared Schuster with an ERA of 7.24. Kirby, his last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 run, had 6 strikeouts. Schuster, his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 3 strikeouts. Seattle coming off an Atlanta win yesterday, winning 7-3. Big win for Seattle as the underdog. Seattle quietly 5-2 on the road against Atlanta, 9-3 straight up against Atlanta, where they've been very good. Kirby's been very good on the mound, coming off a 1-run game. Schuster giving up 11 runs in his last 3 starts here, and I think I'm going to take a shot with the Mariners plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Baltimore Orioles versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto opening up as home favorites at minus 190. Baltimore plus 165 with the over-under at 8.5. Baltimore coming into this matchup 30-16. Toronto 25-21. Pitching for Baltimore is Dean Kramer with an ERA of 4.94. Pitching for Toronto is Kevin Gausman with an ERA of 3.27. Kramer, his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Gausman, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 10 strikeouts. Baltimore coming off back-to-back Toronto wins. They've been very good in this series so far. Toronto on a 3-game losing streak. Baltimore 11-4 on the road, 4-2 against Toronto. They've been very good against the Blue Jays here. Pretty even pitching matchup, and getting big underdog value again today, which is kind of crazy. I think I'm going to take a shot with Baltimore plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay opening up as home favorites at minus 190. Minus 140. Milwaukee plus 125 with the over-under at 8. Brewers coming into this matchup 24-21. The Rays 34-13. Pitching for the Brewers is Freddie Peralta with an ERA of 4.11. Pitching for the Rays is Jalen Beeks with an ERA of 4.70. Peralta, his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 6 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Beeks, his last start, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 2 strikeouts. Coming off back-to-back 0-run games. He's only been pitching a few innings, though. Brewers on a 3-game losing streak, losing to the Rays yesterday 8-4. Tampa Bay on a 2-game winning streak against the Brewers. I mean, they're playing well. Tampa Bay 7-1 at home, getting it done. Love Beeks on the mound. Peralta coming off a 6-run game, hasn't really been that amazing. I think I will roll with the Rays at home in this one. Next matchup, we got the Kansas City Royals versus the Chicago White Sox. White Sox opening up as home favorites at minus 180. Kansas City plus 145 with the over-under at 9.5. Royals coming into this matchup 14-33. The White Sox 18-29. Pitching for the Royals is Carlos Hernandez with an ERA of 4.09. Pitching for the White Sox is Lance Lynn with an ERA of 6.66. Hernandez, his last start, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Lynn, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run, had 7 strikeouts. The Royals coming off back-to-back losses against the White Sox. White Sox playing well in this series right now. Kansas City really struggling to score. 1-6 on the road against Chicago right now. And yeah, I think I'm going to roll with the White Sox at home in this one. Next matchup, we got the Oakland Athletics versus the Houston Astros. Houston opening up as big home favorites at -360. Oakland plus 280 with the over-under at 8.5. Oakland coming into this matchup 10-37. The Astros 26-19. Pitching for Oakland is James Kaprielian with an ERA of 10.17. Pitching for the Astros is Framber Valdez with an ERA of 2.84. Kaprielian, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 7 strikeouts. He's given up 16 runs in his last 3 starts. Valdez, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, had 8 strikeouts. Oakland coming off back-to-back losses against Houston. Houston 9-1 in their last 10. They're on a 6-game winning streak right now. They're playing great baseball. Oakland 1-8 on the road against Houston. And yeah, we're rolling with the Astros at home in this one. Next matchup, we've got the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the St. Louis Cardinals. Dodgers opening up as road favorites at -140. The Cardinals plus 130 with the over-under at 8. Dodgers coming into this matchup 29-18. The Cardinals 20-27. Pitching for the Dodgers is Clayton Kershaw with an ERA of 2.52. Pitching for the Cardinals is Jack Flaherty with an ERA of 5.24. Kershaw, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 7 strikeouts. Flaherty, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 10 strikeouts. The Dodgers losing to St. Louis yesterday 5-6. St. Louis have won 2 out of the last 3 against the Dodgers here. They've been playing good in this series so far. LA is 6-2 against St. Louis, so they've been the better head-to-head team here. Flaherty coming off a 0-run game. He's been pretty good on the mound the last 2 games. Kershaw's been good on the mound as well. Yeah, Cardinals playing well right now in the series here, and I think I'm gonna take a shot with St. Louis plus 1.5 on the road. Or I'm sorry, 1.5 at home. Next matchup, we got the Colorado Rockies versus the Texas Rangers. Rangers opening up as home favorites at -230. Colorado plus 190 with the over-under at 9. Colorado coming into this matchup 19-27. The Rangers 28-17. Pitching for the Rockies is Connor Seabold with an ERA of 5.14. Pitching for the Rangers is Andrew Heaney with an ERA of 4.71. Seabold, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 runs, had 3 strikeouts. Heaney, his last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 run, had 9 strikeouts. Colorado on a 2-game losing streak right now against the Rangers. Rangers have played well in this series. And yeah, I really like the Rangers here, and I'm going to roll with the Rangers at home. All right, next matchup, we got the Miami Marlins versus the San Francisco Giants. Giants opening up as home favorites at -120. Miami plus 110 with the over-under at 7.5. Marlins coming into this matchup 24-22. The Giants 21-24. Pitching for the Marlins is Jesus Luzardo with an ERA of 3.16. Pitching for the Giants is Alex Wood with an ERA of 2.87. Luzardo, his last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 run, had 7 strikeouts. Wood, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Both pitchers pitching very well right now. Miami beating the Giants 1-0 yesterday. It was a nice shutout win for Miami. Tough matchup here. You know, Giants are 5-2 at home. They're a good home team. Yeah, tough loss yesterday. I like to go with ride teams that just had a tough game yesterday, struggled hitting. I think the Giants bounce back again at home, and I'm gonna take the Giants in this one. Next matchup, we got the Minnesota Twins versus the Los Angeles Angels. Angels opening up as home favorites at -150. Minnesota plus 130 with the over-under at 8. Wins coming into this matchup 25 and 21. The Angels 24 and 23. Pitching for the Twins is Pablo Lopez with an ERA of 4.0. Pitching for the Angels is Shohei Ohtani with an ERA of 3.23. Lopez, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Minnesota coming off an Angels win yesterday, 6-2. 2-5 on the road, 2-5 against the Angels here. Lopez, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Ohtani, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 5 strikeouts. Yeah, Ohtani's had some rough starts on the mound here. He's given up a good bit of runs, given up 12 runs in his last 3 starts. Hasn't been, dominating like he was last year. Because normally I'd probably roll with Ohtani on the mound just because he's been pretty dominant. He's 5-1. I mean, he gets wins, but I think I would take the Twins plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we got the Boston Red Sox versus San Diego Padres. Padres opening up as home favorites at minus 140. Boston plus 130 with the over-under at 9. Boston coming into this matchup 26 and 20. The Padres 20 and 26. Pitching for Boston is Corey Kluber with an ERA of 6.41. Pitching for the Padres is Michael Wacha with an ERA of 4.06. Kluber, his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, had 5 strikeouts. Wacha, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 11 strikeouts. He's been very good on the mound, only given up 1 run in his last 3 starts. But Boston on a 4-game winning streak, back-to-back wins against the Padres here. Padres 1-9 in their last 10. It's been very rough for the Padres. And Boston 6-1 on the road against the Padres here. Yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the Red Sox plus 1.5 on the road. And then we got a doubleheader. We've got the Cleveland Guardians versus the New York Mets. Game 1, Mets opening up as home favorites at minus 150. Cleveland plus 125 with the over-under at 8. Guardians coming into this matchup 20 and 24. The Mets 23 and 23. Pitching for the Guardians is Tanner Beebe with an ERA of 3.22. Pitching for the Mets is Max Scherzer with an ERA of 4.88. Beebe, his last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run, had 7 strikeouts. Scherzer, his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 run, had 6 strikeouts. The Mets on a 3-game winning streak. This was the game that was supposed to be played yesterday. Cleveland 0-5 on the road against the Mets, where they really have struggled here. I do like Scherzer on the mound, coming off a good game here, and I think I'm going to take the Mets in game 1. And then game 2 between the Guardians and the Mets. Mets opening up as home favorites at minus 155. Cleveland plus 130 with the over-under at 7.5. Pitching for the Guardians is Shane Bieber with an ERA of 3.20. Pitching for the Mets is Justin Verlander with an ERA of 4.76. Bieber, his last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Verlander, his last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 6 runs, had 3 strikeouts. Cleveland, no main stats here because they haven't played the doubleheader. We know Cleveland, they've lost, they're 0-5 on the road against the Mets here. Have struggled against the Mets. Verlander coming off a 6-run game. Bieber, both pitchers coming off a rough game, but they've both been pretty solid here. I just think I'm going to stick with the Mets in both matchups in this one. And that's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Sunday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Monday. Have a good one.